As anyone following me on Instagram already knows, I was in Miami this weekend for a wonderful wedding. Good news, having spent even a little time in the 305, I'm now a great dancer and, obviously, in fantastic shape. Teddy, no, that wasn't very nice and I'm just gonna edit it out. By chance, Miami is also where Camila Cabello grew up, and so it's particularly fitting that we're talking this week about Never Be the Same. In some ways this tune is phenomenally made, but in other ways it may be fundamentally misguided. Why is it misguided? I'll explain near the end of the video, and I hope to hear your views in the comments. But first, let's hear some piano! Hey. Wrong piano! Wrong piano! Take two! That's better. First, with an important caveat that we'll discuss later, we have to applaud the writers for how consistently they use the language of drug addiction to describe Camila's love. From Robert Palmer's Addicted to Love to Juicy J's rap in Dark Horse, episode 3, linked in the description, the analogy between drug addiction and intense love is tried and true. One reason this lyric is so well made is that the drug addiction language is not a fleeting decoration, but a consistent feature of the song from beginning to end. In the first verse, Camila's got chemicals in her veins.
Got your chemicals all in my veins.
In the pre-chorus, the simile gets really explicit. Her love is like nicotine, heroin, morphine, and she's a fiend.
It's like nicotine, heroin, morphine. Suddenly I'm a fiend.
In the chorus, she says one hit and she'll never be the same.
Just one hit of you, I know I'll never be the same.
In the second verse, she could overdose.
Off of one touch, I could overdose.
And in the bridge, you're in my blood, you're in my veins, you're in my head.
You're in my blood, you're in my veins, you're in my head.
This is the type of consistency of maintaining your idea the whole time that's really hard to find because it's pretty hard to do. 10 points! Outside of the drug language, there are several other lyrics that deserve special praise. First, I'm a sucker for the way that you move.
It's you, babe, and I'm a sucker for the way that you move, babe.
To say that someone is a sucker for something is such an old-fashioned phrase as to sound charming and even innocent. It contrasts so well with all the drug language. It's an important reminder that this is not a song about falling away from the straight and narrow. It's a song about falling in love, something that is ultimately charming and innocent, even if it feels dangerous and crazy. Finally, 3 cheers for the bullet lane!
Let go of the wheel, it's the bullet lane.
The bullet lane is not a thing. But thanks to Superman, faster than a speeding bullet, more powerful than a locomotive. We all know that one of a bullet's most prevalent qualities is its speed, and so saying it's the bullet lane is like saying it's the fast lane, only faster. Coining a new phrase is a risky move because it would be so easy for us to say, what the heck is the bullet lane? They get away with it here in part because it's easy enough to understand, and in part because the prevalence of the drug language already predisposes us to accept code names and even unfamiliar terms. Before we talk about things that are not so good, I want to move away from the lyrics and talk briefly about the music in the introduction. First, there are those deep electronic sounds. Then we hear the drums. Notice that these contrast with the electronic sound in almost every way possible. They don't sound obviously electronic, they sound acoustic. They don't come in strong and steady, they rise up from nothing, drawing us in. And they aren't droning, but rhythmic. So there's a lot of contrast there. Both sounds cut off unexpectedly for the injection of something totally else. A jarring, high-pitched bend that could make even Teddy Roosevelt's floppy ears stand up straight. The pitch bend is actually a bit of foreshadowing because Camila will imitate it in the pre-chorus. Here's the pitch bend. Here's the pre-chorus. Listen for the bend in her voice.
Nicotine, heroin, morphine.
I think this is one of the best introductions I've heard in a very long time. But it's not all sunshine and roses for this number. First, I think we can all agree that the post-chorus is a waste of time. What's the post-chorus? It's that bit of musical material that immediately follows the chorus in which Camila hammers us over the head with the title but doesn't actually offer anything interesting. Everyone in the room is really just waiting for the song to get back to the good stuff.
I'll never, ever, ever be the same. I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. I'll never be the same. Speaking in LA when the lights are...
I can practically hear the tick-tock sound from the middle.
Take a seat,
Shout out to episode 9, also linked below. As a matter of song structure, the post-chorus is pretty rare, but like all sections of a song, it can be well done, engaging, and even fun. Think of Gwen Stefani's Hollaback Girl. Here's the chorus. And here's the post-chorus. I know I gave examples from Elton John last time, but Crocodile Rock is probably the most famous post-chorus of all time. Here's the chorus. Here's the post-chorus. Sing along! In both examples, the chorus and post-chorus are distinct parts of the song and equally strong. Here, the post-chorus is more of an afterbirth. The main event has transpired, but there's more. Just cut it. Second, the 6 lines in the double long verse leading up to the first chorus all end with the A sound, except the last one. The first 3 lines end with brain, pains, and vein, all A sounds. The next 3 lines we start with lane, as in the bullet lane, followed by straight. Okay, we've changed the terminal consonant, but the A sound is still there. And finally, tragically, awkwardly, intoxicate me. The A sound is there, intoxicate, but there's this extra word. In this case, me is a songwriting mistake. Even Camila knows it. Listen to her sing that line.
You intoxicate me.
She swallows the word me, like she's not even sure whether she should be saying it. Everything she knows about music is telling her that the last sound in that line should be the A sound, and she's right. The lack of any such extra word at the end of verse 2 proves that the extra word at the end of verse 1 is just careless writing. The last thing I want to talk about is something I'm hoping you'll comment on. As I mentioned before, despite all the references to drugs, including heroin and morphine, this song makes clear that it's not actually about drugs. It's actually about love. But even when drugs are not the object of the singer's love, but rather an extended metaphor as it is here, I'm not sure we need more songs that make drugs sound sexy. Popular songs are mostly consumed by young people, and we're not doing them any favors by perpetuating a myth that drugs have sex appeal. For better or worse, I would never write a song like this because I think it's a bad idea. We should find new metaphors. Let's make any comparison that puts drug use on the same pedestal as love old-fashioned. It's something to think about. Please put your thoughts in the comments. I want to know what you think. I imagine a lot of people think I'm being uptight, but I don't think so. Now, I don't want to leave everyone on a downer, so we'll add a new section, a segment that I like to call, Where's Macy Gray's Check? Anyone who lived through the year 2000 is likely to hear Macy Gray's I Try in the back of their minds whenever Never Be the Same comes on. Remember that one?
I try to say goodbye and I choke. Try to walk away and I stumble. Though I try to hide it, it's clear.
There are a few reasons that Never Be the Same is reminiscent of I Try. For one, both songs use the same chord progression in the chorus. Of course, not every song has to have a unique chord progression, but there are other similarities. In both songs, the downbeat of the chorus features the tonic note in the melody, meaning the same note in the scale comes right at the beginning of the chorus. Here's Macy Gray.
I try to say goodbye and I choke.
Here's Camila Cabello.
It's you, baby.
And if you were to chart the shape of the melody in the chorus, there might be a roughly similar shape. Also, the introductions both start with a deep droning sound. Here's Macy Gray. Here's Camila Cabello. Macy even says she's fiendin', just like Camila says she's a fiend. Here's Macy.
I'll keep my cool, but I'm feeling.
And Camila.
Suddenly, I'm a fiend and you're all I need.
Thematically, they're both about being unable to walk away from your lover. They both have a halftime feel. I'm not crying plagiarism, it's a little tongue-in-cheek when I say, Where's Macy Gray's Check? But when one song reminds you of another, I encourage you to dig in and try to figure out why. Often there's more than one reason. By the way, I Try is a great song to listen to after binge-watching American Popular Song Today. I encourage you to do that on YouTube. You'll hear all kinds of things we talked about. An explosive chorus, like we talked about in episode 3, doing what the lyrics say, like we talked about in episode 9, the big finish key change we talked about in episode 10. Give it a listen. Next time, Look Alive by Blockboy JB and Drake.
901 Shelby Drive, look alive, niggas came up on this side, now they on the other side.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe. Subscribing makes you feel good inside, so don't forget to subscribe to our channel.